Hello there and welcome to Help Grow Academy. In today's class, we'll be solving over 10 most repeated post-utme questions on chemistry. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel and turn your notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. The first question we have today says, which of the following elements has the highest electronegativity? Option A says sodium, B fluorine, C oxygen, and D nitrogen. The first concept here is to know the meaning of what? Electronegativity. Electronegativity simply means the ability of an atom to attract electrons in a chemical bond. Now, on the periodic table, the electronegativity of fluorine is 3.98. Fluorine, on the electronic using Pauling scale, it has an electronegativity of 3.98. Don't forget, electronegativity increases from left to right on the periodic table. Electronegativity increases from left to right on the periodic table. From these elements here, if you look at this element very well, you observe that fluorine is one of the elements, or is the only element here that is located at the extreme in the periodic table. Don't forget, it increases from what? From left to what? Right. If you observe on the periodic table, fluorine is at the extreme on the periodic table. Therefore, the correct option here is what? Option B. Fluorine has the highest electronegativity, and the value is what? 3.98. So fluorine is our correct answer. Question 2 says, which of the following processes is exothermic? Which of the following processes is exothermic? The first you have here is option A, melting of ice. Option B, boiling of water. Option C, we have neutralization of acid with alkaline. And option D, evaporation of alcohol. The first thing we need to know is the word exothermic. What does exothermic mean?
An exothermic reaction releases heat to the surroundings.
Now, from this option here, we have melting of ice. Melting of ice does not actually release heat to the environment. Actually, it absorbs heat. Boiling of water, heat is not released to the environment. Heat is absorbed. But we have neutralization of acid with alkaline. What is neutralization?
Neutralization is a chemical reaction where an acid reacts with a base to form salt and water, releasing heat. That is what the term neutralization simply means.
So in neutralization of acid and base, or acid and alkaline, heat is what? Evolves. The next we have here, option D says evaporation of alcohol. Now the correct answer for this is what? Option C, neutralization of acid with alkaline, because it involves the release of heat to the environment.
Other processes like melting, boiling, and evaporation are endothermic because they absorb heat. The correct option is option C, neutralization of acid with alkaline.
Question 3 says, what is the IUPAC name of this compound? Option A says propanoic acid. Option B, we have propanol. Option C, we have butanoic acid. And option D, we have what? Ethanoic acid. For you to be able to name this compound, the first thing you need to do is to count the number of carbons present in this compound. If you count it, you have what? 1, 2, and 3. For 3 carbons, for 3 carbons, the prefix is prop. Now if you look at this compound also, you observe that it has a functional group. This functional group. This is a functional group, and this functional group is called the carboxylic acid. So this is called carboxylic acid. Now we have a functional group called the carboxylic acid. Whenever you have this attached to a compound, the suffix for that compound becomes oic. This OIC, you attach OIC to it. Now for this compound, it has, don't forget, it has 3 number of carbons and it has a functional group, the carboxylic acid. What you need to do is you bring the prefix first. Propanoic. From here, you attach the suffix, which is OIC for carboxylic acid, to have what? A propanoic acid. Now this is the correct option, propanoic acid. So you have this to be the correct answer, the propanoic acid. Question 4 says, the number of unpaired electrons in an oxygen atom is dash. The number of unpaired electrons in an oxygen atom is A, we have 0, B, 2, C, 4, and D, 6. Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what is the atomic number of oxygen? The atomic number of oxygen, number of oxygen is what? Is 8. From the electronic configuration of oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, and 2p4. If you count it, you have 2 here. 2 plus 2 will give you what? 4. 4 plus 4 gives us what? 8. So this is the electronic configuration of what? Oxygen with atomic number 8. Now from Hund's law or from Hund's rule, it says electrons in an orbit will be filled singly first before pairing. By that we mean for 1s2 we have, this is 1s2. In this particular orbit, you fill it singly first before you pair. For the next one, which is what? 2s2, we need to do what? We fill it singly before we pair. Now, we are done with the s orbital. We move to the p orbital. For the p orbital, it can contain 6 electrons and is divided into 3. This is for your what? 2p4. Don't forget, this has 4 electrons. So what you do, you fill singly first. You say 1, 2, 3, right? Remaining what? Remaining 1. So when you add that one here, we are done with it. You have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 here in this particular p orbit. Therefore, they said, what is the number of what? Unpaired electrons in an oxygen atom? If you observe here, this is paired, this is paired, this is paired. You observe that two electrons are unpaired here. This one is 1 and this one is 1. Therefore, in this question, the number of unpaired electrons in an oxygen atom is what? 2. Question 5 says, which of the following is a strong acid? Which of the following is a strong acid? Option A here says acetic acid. Option B says carbonic acid. Option C, we have the hydrochloric acid. And option D, we have the hydrocyanide acid. Now, option A is wrong because it's a weak acid. Option B, the carbonic acid, is wrong because it's also a weak acid. The hydrochloric acid is correct. Reason being that it's a strong acid, and strong acid
dissociates completely in water.
This here, the hydrocyanide acid, is wrong. It's a weak acid. The chemical equation for this, the hydrochloric acid, is given as HCl ionizes to form hydrogen ion, and chlorine ion. If you observe from this equation, they ionize what? Completely. So the correct option there is what? Option C. The hydrochloric acid ionizes completely because it is a strong acid. Question C says, which of the following metals can displace hydrogen from dilute acid? Which of the following metals can displace hydrogen from dilute acid? Option A here says copper. Option B says gold. Option C, we have lead. And option D, we have zinc. Now, metals that can displace hydrogen are metals that are above hydrogen in the electrochemical series. Those are the only metals that can displace hydrogen. Here, the only metal that can displace hydrogen here is zinc. So, if you add zinc to an acid, something like this, we have this. This is zinc reacting with an acid. Let's take hydrochloric acid for instance. It's going to give us what? It's going to displace hydrogen here. We're going to have this plus H2. It has displaced, zinc here has displaced hydrogen from this equation. It has removed hydrogen from the hydrochloric acid, and then hydrogen is now standing alone. So, the only metals that can displace hydrogen in the electrochemical series are elements that are higher than hydrogen. If you observe copper and gold here, they are below hydrogen in the electrochemical series. So they are wrong. The only element here, or the only metal that can displace hydrogen successfully is what? Zinc, as shown in this equation, where zinc displaces hydrogen from this acid, the hydrochloric acid. So the correct option here is option D, zinc.